Well, Indiana is one of 6 states that doesn't guarantee legal counsel for children in a welfare case. That means in many cases, children who are facing legal issues don't have an attorney representing them in court. Now, one lawmaker is trying to remedy that. WTIU has the story.
The issue is one that's near to Joshua Christian Oswald's heart. He was in the foster care system for 18 years, starting when he was 2 years old. Adopted as an adult aging out in 2020, he feels having a court-appointed attorney as part of his team growing up would have helped him.
I really wasn't educated on what permanency outcomes could be, whether it's adoption, reunification, or guardianship or kinship, or somebody that is with a trusted, loving adult around me.
Oswald says as a teenager, it was difficult for him to get a hold of legal documents like his birth certificate.
Legal documents for young people are really important, especially as they're about to age out and be on their own and have to navigate life with very little social capital.
And Maggie Stevens with Foster Success, an organization that provides support for foster youth 14 and up, spoke in support of the bill during a January hearing before the Senate Committee on Family and Children's Services.
They don't necessarily always feel that they're heard. I mean, we've heard young people say they didn't even know there were court hearings happening, let alone being given the opportunity to be there. They just found out about them afterwards, that all the other parties came together, spoke about it, and a ruling was made.
Stevens says a legal representative can petition for a young person to give testimony in closed chambers so they don't have to speak in front of their foster family or biological parents. Senate Bill 180's language was amended to request that the bill be assigned to an interim study committee. The reason it was changed was because of projected costs, which lawmakers were reluctant to budget for during a non-budget session. The bill was passed 46-0 in the Senate but died in a House committee. The bill's author, Senator John Ford, who's been in the foster care system himself, says he and other legislators submitted a letter to the Legislative Council asking that the bill be assigned to a study committee. Ford says they're waiting on an answer, which will come in the next couple months. Whether the bill was passed in the House or not has no sway on if the Legislative Council decides to approve the bill for study. Children in Indiana's foster care system have a team of advocates which can include guardian ad litem, court-appointed special advocates, and social workers. A CASA is appointed to advocate for a child's best interests in court cases of abuse or neglect. Kristen Bichet with Monroe County CASA says Ford's bill doesn't consider some important logistical issues, particularly in setting an age limit on who's guaranteed legal representation and how to cover that cost.
There are guidelines on if these attorneys are trained to represent children or in family law, and also if they're required to see the children. One fear we have is that the only time they might see the child is outside the courtroom right before they go in. And that's a concern.
She emphasizes that CASA is not against the bill, but hopes lawmakers consider some of these issues when they look at the bill again. In child welfare cases, judges can appoint legal representation to juveniles, and kids can request counsel themselves. Projections say Senate Bill 180 would cost the state upwards of $11 million and $38 million in local expenses. Oswald says providing legal representation for all children in need of services, especially in the foster care system, is important. He's now Director of Strategic Partnerships for All in Fostering Futures.
I think legal representation can help any young person achieve legal permanency, more so in a timely manner. Because, when you are an attorney, you signed an oath to best represent the wishes of a young person without substituting your own judgment. And it's really important to make sure that young people's voices are heard and their wishes are presented to the court and those wishes to be considered to the court.
He says even younger kids would benefit from the representation. He plans to help with Senate Bill 180 moving forward. Senator Ford says he will bring the issue up in the 2023 legislative session. For Indiana News Desk, I'm WTIU.